Greetings, I'm Raining Moon and this is Oak Moon Grove. This video today is going to be a little home tour. I always find these types of videos really interesting and seeing how people live, and so I wanted to share that with you. I'm not trying to show off in any way, so if you're someone who gets triggered by videos like that, then please just don't watch this video. So I am starting off here. I'm going to turn around so you can see this is actually the front door, and it has glass, which is really nice, so it lets light in. And then I have these curtains that we put down at night to keep any light from street lights out, and it's made out of linen. It's really nice. And I'm just going to do a spin around. So it's where the shoes live. We have little hooks here with birds where you could put bags or a jacket or something like that. You have a shelf. That's one end of the house. Here's the kitchen. It's the other end of the house. Turning around, there's through the bedroom, the other end of the house, and back around to the door again. So this house is about 800 square feet, I believe. It's a little cottage. We rent it. We've been here for about 2 years. And I live here with my husband and my cat, and it's plenty room. It's very spacious, and I like keeping things pretty open and simple so that it's nice and calm and relaxing feeling. You're going to notice that I have a lot of plants in this space. This is the great room. So this includes the kitchen, living room, dining room. And I have painted, there's a little light fixture that came with the place, and I painted around it with a little fern, and the landlord seemed to like it, so you like that there. Lots of plants, like I said. This is the heart of the home. So I have this table and chair set that everything here was thrifted. I think the chairs are kind of a little like Elven style to me, with the beige velvet and the curving wood. I love things that look Elvish or Art Nouveau. That's definitely very much my style. A lot of rounded organic form. And this table, the leaves fold down. I serve tea here to guests, and we can sit here and eat, my husband and I, play a game. I can work on my artwork. This is actually like my art studio. You could tell the table's a little beat up, but that's because I'm always working on there, either making jewelry or painting. So it gets a lot of use. We will move on. Back here, there is my son, Jinx. Hello, boo. He's napping. So this futon was actually something that somebody was throwing away, and we snagged it. I painted some leafy patterns along the arms, and then put a linen futon cover on there that's nice and easy to clean. And we love having, like, we have a little TV over here and the futon. We love having nights where we can just cozy up on the sofa, and we'll throw like a nice cozy blanket around us, and the cat will be snoodled in a sandwich kind of between us with our hot cocoa, and it's very hygge. If you don't know what that is, I would Google it if I were you. But it's just a really cozy space, and there's not much to it. I try to keep a lot of the surfaces clean. If there's anything on a surface, it's most likely going to be a plant, because I really love the plants. The first thing that you notice actually all the way back from the door is that tapestry. Everything I have on the walls here is something that is very meaningful to me. This is a beautiful tapestry that was gifted to me on my 5th year anniversary about 15 years ago, and it has moon and stars and trees, and to me looks very elvish. Also, it's done by an Irish artist. Had it for a while. and I really, really like it. Looks like something you would see in Rivendell, in my opinion. And then another thrifted piece, this really beautiful ornate lamp that I painted in this kind of champagne-y metallic color. It's very detailed. I believe it's actually Victorian. Just really beautiful. It's metal. And you can see back there in the window, all of the windows we've actually painted these elven arches, and that's because we live out in the woods and we have fountains and bird feeders and things like that outside, and so we get a lot of birds. And there was a couple occasions where unfortunately a bird smacked into the windows, and luckily the bird didn't die, but I didn't want to see that happen again, so we painted these Elvish style arches on all the windows, and the birds don't smack into them now. So they look also really pretty when the light filters through. I have over there is my drum that I use for leading shamanic journeys. I also bring this to drum circles. Over there is the boiler closet where my husband keeps some of his tools. I'm not going to show that because it's actually none of my stuff. There's the cat box. And so, pretty rug. Then we're looking on the other side of the living room here, which we have I guess it's another thrifted piece of furniture, TV stand where computer lives and the TV sits on. Also have Himalayan salt lamps. I have a couple of these type of lamps around the house because in the evenings I don't like using overhead lighting, so I prefer using much softer light from something like this. And it just adds a nice atmosphere. It also cleanses the air. It's very peaceful light. It's easy on the eyes. It doesn't upset your circadian rhythm. So it's sitting on a nice little stool that's made from driftwood. I have a lot of wooden elements in the house, as well as plants and hemp and linen, and I try to go with a lot of natural materials. There's a crystal sitting on the windowsill. Very beautiful. Oh, you're already starting to see rainbows. I have these prisms in all the windows. So at certain times of day, it just starts throwing rainbows all around the house. And I really love that. There's certain times of day, it's just rainbows everywhere. So another one of my plants, and this here is one of my most favorite paintings ever. If you didn't know, I'm actually an artist, a painter. I have an Etsy shop where I sell a lot of my artwork. It's called Oak Moon Grove, like the name of this channel. And this, I had to narrow down in my minimalism journey of really just narrowing down things. I had so many paintings, so many that in fact, they kind of all blended in together and you didn't really pay attention to anyone in particular. So I picked my absolute favorite, and this is the one. And I was able to thrift this really beautiful ornate frame from Goodwill. It's very heavy and it fit perfect. And if you couldn't tell, I have a thing for unicorns. Here's a gathering of unicorns in a glade. So I'm going to spin around. Oh, you can see rainbows on the ceiling there. Now we're looking from where the sofa is towards the door. There's a little perch for the cat to sit and scratch his nails. There's a bookcase over here with a lot of books that are my husband's, as well as our D&D stuff. So if you just a little info about me, I'm a total gaming nerd. I love playing Dungeons and Dragons. I have played Dungeons and Dragons for the last 20 years and I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's really a way to expand your creativity, and it really does actually gives me inspiration for a lot of the artwork that I do. It's very magical, mystical, and a good time getting together with people and just making like a pot of food and enjoying playing the game together. It's something that we do on a weekly for fun. So turning around here, so you can see here is the kitchen area. Come over here. All right. Little shelf here, some of my husband's books down there, and these are the books that I'm currently reading. I have a little brass Art Nouveau swan, and this is a singing bowl. It's made out of crystal. Really beautiful. It was a gift from my husband, and my amazing drone flute that I love to play. I play this flute pretty much every single day. This was something that was also custom made for me specifically. It has a little wolf totem on there, made from an artisan on Etsy named Flockingbird, I believe. And then this is kind of like my little, I would say almost like an altar space in a way. Sometimes I will pull out an oracle card and place it right here and look at it during the day. I have some very large pine cones that were gifted to me with some feathers sticking out of them, and this box has some essential oils which I use in my diffuser and in bath and body stuff, and I make things with it. I use it for cleaning. I use them for a lot of different things. For here, another plants. Let's see, more Elven arches, and these are my collection of crystals. I did a whole video about crystals, and here's some feathers that I have collected that I use for smudging. That's brown one is one that I found. There's my aromatherapy diffuser, and this box here contains all my tinctures and oils that I make personally. So homemade medicines from plants that I forage. And then I also have here, this is where my oracle decks live, and another salt lamp that lights the way because we are going towards, this is the bathroom area over here. So at night, if this is on, then you don't need to turn on any other lights if you need to get up in the middle of the night. I'll come back to that. My Berkey water filtration system. If you don't know what a Berkey is, it's amazing water filter. You could put lake water in there and you would be able to drink it. I have a rain barrel outside that I collect water in. It has a pretty elvish type of metal stand. The fridge, a calendar, a little note from my husband. And then this is where fruit lives in these baskets that I thrifted. The kitchen, we don't have a dishwasher. It's pretty basic, though it's really nice and very spacious. I have here, there's just a bamboo dish rack, and I have my bamboo scrubber. I use just a regular bar of soap to wash dishes. I try to keep everything pretty nice and open. There are things out here that we use on the daily. The kettle is something that I use several times a day, every single day. And that's the toaster oven. That's my husband. He loves that thing. And we have some wooden utensils there. But it's really nice, and it has everything we need. Has these really pretty, I think it's marble countertops, and like we're renting, so we didn't put these in. They were just here when we got here, but they're really nice. So that is the kitchen. Moving on through this way, what is back here? Is it the Wizard of Oz? No, it's not. Got some thrifted curtains too. It's a little space. There's the electric box, extinguisher that came with the place, and just some paintings, really. Paintings that are being stored here if they're not in any gallery at the time. This is where I put some of my artwork to hold it. Turning to the bathroom, which is another really simple, very small space. A thrifted rug. We have a hemp shower curtain, which I highly recommend. Instead of having the plastic ones that you end up throwing out, and they're just terrible. This, when it gets dirty, you know, like once a month or whatever, you just throw it in the laundry and wash it. It's really great. Highly recommend a hemp shower curtain. Hemp is also one of the most sustainable type of materials. So here's the shower. Nothing much to it. Not much storage, but I don't really need a lot. I forgot to mention, and I did a beauty care video for hair and body and all that kind of stuff. This is one important thing that I do use for that kind of thing, and it is a filter for your shower. If your water is anything like where I live, there's a lot of chlorine and chemicals in the water that can be really harsh on your hair and your skin. So I got this one at, I think on Amazon, but it's been really great for the water. So turning around, here's the sink area. A lot of people that come over my house really like the sink, but I think it's kind of a pain in the butt to clean. I try not to keep much of anything on there. It's just a basic mirror there. Homemade toothpaste with bamboo toothbrushes and a thrifted pump that I'm trying to use up, some Castile soap that I have. Lots of plants. We put these on the windows because there's literally a driveway right here, and so if you're getting out of the shower or something, I didn't want lots of heavy curtains, so we have these decals for it. Lets in a lot of the natural light, but it's also gives you some privacy. I feel weird showing you my toilet, but there's a toilet, and this is kind of a catch-all linen closet, medicine cabinet, everything, and it has just some of my husband's things and razor and a bunch of DIY bath and beauty stuff that I make. There's my moon pads, some towels, vitamins, B12, my hairbrush, stuff like that. Okay, really cute little hand towel holder with a fox. A lot of woodland stuff. There's a little hedgehog on a piece of wood that's an original painting that was really cute. That was from Etsy. Beautiful butterfly that was gifted to me like about a decade ago. And we're looking back. I have trash can and recycling there. I also have a compost in the yard. We spend a lot of time in the yard. We have fountains outside and seats outside. I have a vegetable garden for growing a lot of my own veggies, and we are pretty much planting loads of native plants and flowers and trees all around the space around the house, and there's a meadow out there, and to help the wildlife. So we're pretty much making like a little nature reserve here, which the landlord was a-okay with, so awesome. This is the last room, which is the bedroom. I really like these metal cornices. They have birds. I think they look kind of elvish also. And they're actually practical. These were vintage ones, but like you can hang, I take clothes that are from the wash, and instead of throwing them in the dryer, I can hang dry them. I just put them on hangers and then like hang them all along these hooks here, which is really nice. Another pretty thing, very ornate looking handmade clock made out of birch wood from an artist on Etsy, which is, I try to get a lot of things secondhand, and if it's not something secondhand, then I like to be intentional with my purchases and either, buy something directly from an artist, get something fair trade, try to go for organic, and you're going to see that here in the bedroom. So here's my bedroom. Here's the door. Scan around. And back and around again. So start here. Very ornate fair trade mirror that I got about 15 years ago. So I've had it for a really long time. It's very beautiful and very heavy wood. I have a little macrame here with some plants dangling down. Not really that much on the walls in this room at all. I like to keep it nice and peaceful. Have some plants over there on the windowsill with a little Little Totoro living in my plant pot. It's so cute. It's a little wooden guy. And yes, I'm an adult, and yes, I love Totoro. Here's my bed. So I get questions about these quite often. They are lamps. They're made out of bronze. I've had them for about 15 years as well. They used to be in my living room in the old place. So we lived in a city apartment for about 16 years. We've only been living in this house for about 2 years. But I moved them here, and I'm using them as kind of a headboard since I don't have a headboard. This is my bed, and it's a queen size. I have a hemp blanket. I can link that one below. That's from Etsy, and linen sheets and pillowcases. Very natural, organic. This is a Dreamcatcher that I made. It was my first Dreamcatcher I ever made out of vines from the forest and feathers that I found. And these lights are they're really nice. They kind of give you a soft glow. It's great for reading. You're going to read in bed. And then next to the bed, I keep it nice and clear under the bed so it's easy to clean. I have this little wooden platform for just putting glasses or a glass of water, and it has my tiny little jewelry box where I keep all of my jewelry that was also made by an Etsy artist from Driftwood. I think it's really cute. More of those patterns on the windows. And I have a little stained glass over here too. It's very pretty. It's a lotus, and it has all the windows on this side of the house have prisms on them, like I said, because it throws. I love to even just sit on the bed with the cat or lay here, and there's rainbows all over the ceiling and all over the room at certain times. So more plants. This is the only closet in the whole house. There's a wisteria vine that had wrapped around and was kind of strangling on a tree. So I tried to save the tree by cutting off the wisteria, and I thought it looked really cool. It almost looks like a staff. Some more plants, a little wooden plant stand, and a dresser that is also quite old. This thing's about 15 years old, and I updated it by putting these little bronze leaves that kind of give it an Elvish style. Just like, I believe, like, these lamps look very, very Elvish to me. They kind of remind me of Mirkwood or Rivendell. And they have that bronze nature-y pattern to them. And here's my little selenite lamp. That's what gets lit at night. Keep a lot of my surfaces really clear. I have a tiny little painting from one of my favorite Etsy artists. And spinning back around to, there's a medicine wheel that my husband got almost 30 years ago. So, yeah, that is my whole house. I hope you enjoyed this tour. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Until next time, I wish you love, serenity, and grace. Namaste.